and talk about the ramifications of this control and these oligarchs and where we're currently at. Because it's a hard segue into more political stuff, but I think all of this is tied together in the culture war. From timcast.com, court rules anyone charged as an insurrectionist can be barred from political office. The decision comes after North Carolina voters challenged Madison Cawthorn's re-election bid. To put it simply, we thought that this was crushed because Democrats are basically trying to make it so that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Madison Cawthorn cannot run for re-election. What ends up happening is the court says, because of this Clemency Act or whatever in 1872, you can't use this against people anymore. Now a federal court says now actually you can. So one of the things we end up seeing from all of this manipulation and control on social media, they're trying to craft the narrative. They've been trying as hard as possible. Before free, an open internet, before we all were our culture developed on the internet, the big networks controlled everything. If they said it, it was true. And that's power. The media has been desperately trying to claim that all of these Republicans are insurrectionists simply because they voted not to certify election results because they wanted an investigation, or who knows why they did it. You also had, I think, half the states in a lawsuit against the other half of the states at one point, with Texas leading the charge, taking issue with how the election was handled in 2020. Now they're trying to argue that everything that happened was an insurrection, and therefore 147 Republicans can be barred from office.
I got to say, just the fact that there is a vote to verify the election results means that you can vote yes or no. They have a vote on purpose, so it doesn't matter how you vote on that.
Well, this is the crazy thing that I think we see with everything. Why is it that they don't want free speech? Because they don't want a fair playing field. They don't want to have to deal with proving themselves right. Why are they going after this 14th Amendment thing? Because they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose. We are dealing with an establishment. It's the big tech companies, the media companies, the Democratic Party, many Republicans as well. They're part of the establishment, and their goal is just to maintain control and power by any means necessary.
Is this true so it's just being charged with this? It's not even being convicted. It's just being charged can bar someone, even if they're found innocent?
Well, being charged for insurrection is nebulous. What does it mean?
I don't know.
The media has repeatedly said definitively that certain people have committed insurrection. They're just outright saying it. And that's why they tried arguing. They tried suing, saying, no, Madison Cawthorn can't run because by speaking at this event, he engaged in insurrection.
Man, I'm using Brave, and I'm using the Brave search, Brave browser, Brave search. I just typed in insurrection to get a definition. On the right, 2021 United States Capitol attack comes up. It says attack. Like, this is mass media manipulation in my face, and it's Brave. What just insurrection, and they just assume that I need to look at this.
I suppose you can say a lot of people there did attack, I
guess.
I mean, it's propaganda, right? You say attack on one side and you say protest on the other side.
Yep, and whoever controls the narrative is going to control the outcome.
And taken to its logical conclusion, you wind up with one of the sovereign constitutional branches of government, democratic branches of government, having its sovereignty replaced with that of another, whatever you want to call this other media branch or whoever's going to decide what is an insurrection in the public eye. They are able to decide when what we would take as the unlimited sovereignty of Congress to vote how it will be, to impose its will on the other two branches as laid out in the Constitution comes to an end. And that's scary.
This is why our ability to speak freely in the public is so important. For the longest time, you spoke in the public. Actually, for the longest time, people go to churches and they would talk to each other. You also had physical events. But you did have media controlling a large share of what people thought was true, and they just blindly believed it. Now, with the internet, they're trying to lock down. I think they were surprised by 2016. They didn't realize how powerful the internet was going to be, that people basically memed Trump into the presidency. They have to stop it. So they go after Alex Jones. They go after, Milo. They go after Laura Loomer. All of these people who are on the right, who are loud and generating tons of attention. All of a sudden, we see one day Alex Jones gets purged from basically every single, from app stores, from podcasts, from every social platform. There's no way that wasn't coordinated.
You can see the coordination, too, when one network will ban it, and then within like a week, another network bans it. You could just say that like maybe Facebook watched Twitter ban them and was like, we're going to follow suit. But I got a feeling, you were in Silicon Valley. You'd know better than anyone.
I actually think it was more they're just kind of like this group think. And like with Alex Jones is probably the best example of this, where like within a day, like he was removed from 3 or 4 platforms.
Yeah.
I feel like there was just so many people whining to get rid of Alex Jones at those companies. As soon as one of them actually like dove into the pool, they all just kind of followed automatically afterwards. So I guess maybe I'm a bit of a skeptic on like that they had like a boardroom meeting where they all decided now is when we ban Alex Jones.
Right.
It's just more a
But-
group thing.
Like if they had like a
no,
meeting
no.
in like Davos, Switzerland or something
Yeah.
to decide all that stuff. That'd be crazy.
I think it's the middle ground. I don't think that they all had, they pressed a button to go to the sub basement where all of the big tech buildings meet and they sit in the council chamber with torches or anything like
Yeah.
that. I think they went out to lunch and they were like, what are you guys doing over at Twitter about this Alex Jones thing? And they're like, well, we don't know.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
guys over at Facebook doing? Well, we're thinking about banning him. And then, a handful of guys who were from different departments were talking. They went back and said, this is what they're going to do. And so then when one person did it, okay, and then everyone does it because they walk in lockstep with each other.
Yeah.